Good morning, YouTube friends. I thought of something this morning that I wanted to share with you, and it's a not so perfect way to make quilts. I've been making quilts for a long time, and I've given the most of them away. I make them my favorite way that I'm going to show you last now most of the time, and I've made them a lot of different ways. And they're not so perfect, but they work, and the people that I give them to really do enjoy them. Some that I've kept, I'm going to show you this morning. This first one is a double wedding ring that I've made, and it's made all in one. The top was made all in one big section, and then I put it on the back and quilted it by hand. Let me see if I can get it down here close. I'm just not good at making videos. I don't know how to edit. I've downloaded some programs, but I just haven't learned to do that yet. So you'll just have to bear with me. It's the content that matters, not the fancy videos. But this is a double wedding ring, and it was pieced on the machine and then quilted by hand. You can see the back's kind of puckered, but I used a hoop, and I would sit on the couch of a night and watch TV and quilt this, and it has a heart shape quilted in the white part, and I used a little heart that I cut out of cardboard excuse me, that I used to quilt that shape in there. So that's one of my quilts that I made, that was made all in one big piece, and I hope you understand what I mean when I said it was made in one piece. You will later. This next quilt is made out of vintage calendars. They're in the 90s and 80s. Here's one in 87. That was the year that my husband and I married. Let me see if I can back off here so you can see what it looks like. It's a pretty quilt. I display these quilts on a ladder that my husband made for me. I fold them up. That's what it looks like. It's has black that it's set together with. But I sewed these calendars together, and I quilted this on the machine. It's a meander, they call that, or stippling, where it's no particular pattern. See if I can get down here closer so you can see in the black where you just meander around with your stitching on your quilt. This is the old calendars that were stitched together. But now this one is my favorite way to make quilts, this last one. And I've made a bunch like this. This is made by the block, and then they're set together separately, sewn together. You can tell more about it. And the seam is covered from the top. So can you tell? Each little block is made separately, and then they're sewed together from the bottom with the raw edges on the top, and then covered with what they call the lattice here on the top. This is a quilt that I embroidered. Let me get back here so you can see kind of what it looks like. And this is my very favorite way to make a quilt, because you can make it a block at a time. Sew it together when you get it all finished. I've made 2 of these state bird and flower quilts that are hand embroidered. Now, let me see. Y'all probably dizzy by now the way I'm videoing this. One of these days, maybe when my granddaughter comes, she can do me a good video that won't make you dizzy. Oh my. Well, anyway, maybe you can see it. I love this quilt. And I'm going to make another one of these, but the way I'm going to do the next one, I'm going to set blank blocks together, and I'm going to embroider it after it's all set together, or that's what's on my mind. But I really enjoyed making this quilt. And this is my second one of these I made. I sold the first one I made, but I'm keeping this one. And this is a ribbon that this is covered with this embroidery stitch on here. Let me get down here close. I don't know how good you can see that. But anyway, I love embroidering. My grandma Dixon taught me to embroidery when I was just a little bitty girl. And every time I start embroidering, I think of her. If you want anybody to remember, you teach them how to do something, and every time they do that, they'll remember you. Here's our Kentucky block. Gives the year that it became a state in the Union. It was the 15th state in the Union. Goldenrod is the flower. The cardinal is the state bird. So that's how all 50 states are. So I'm going to start another one of these before long, I think. So this is my favorite way to make quilts. And I've made a number like this, giving them away. I've made all of my living siblings quilts for their birthday, and I've included pictures in those and scripture blocks and different things, and giving them to them, and they enjoy those. So this is an easy way to make a quilt. Not so perfect, but everything in life doesn't have to be perfect. If you can make it perfect, that's good. But in this stage of my life, everything's not perfect, and that's all right. If you can get it done, that's better for me. So I hope you enjoyed this not so perfect video. And if you do, if you can remember to subscribe, I'd appreciate it, and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you the next time around.